The hideout is on fire. Celestials. Master, they must be after the researcher.
Could be. We need to act fast. I'll deal with the Celestials. You go on ahead and find out what's going on. Don't do anything rash.
Easy for you to say. Now, how do I get past all the soldiers?
Something's up. What happened? On me. Then again, is it? This one.
And he tells me not to do anything rash.
Mind your business. Damn it! It's an elemental.
Catch him!
What?
There you go.
Damn! Stop right there! Where did he go? It's you! He's up there!
Whoa, too many.
Stop! There he is! Nowhere to run down! Don't move! Have a taste of my ass! Put it out! Put it out!
Cool off, you lot. Gonna be cold.
The Godslayer is a massive open-world action RPG coming from developer Pathea Games. This is actually a huge shift for this studio. They are famous for cozy games like My Time at Sandrock, but this title is a dark, gritty dive into a Silk-punk universe. The game is set in the sprawling capital city of Zhou, a place where ancient Chinese aesthetics clash with industrial steampunk technology like airships and trains. You play as Chung, a warrior known as an Elemancer. Your goal is pure revenge against the Celestials, a group of tyrant gods who slaughtered your family during an event called the God Fall. The gameplay loop is incredibly ambitious. It combines the open-world freedom of GTA with a combat system straight out of Avatar: The Last Airbender. You control 5 elements: fire, water, earth, metal, and wood, and they interact physically with the world. You can burn down wooden cover, conduct electricity through metal enemies, or even flood an area with water and then freeze it to trap everyone inside. The Godslayer is targeting a release in 2027 on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC.
Good evening from this special edition of TG. Today our newsroom received a disturbing videotape. It was a tough decision to make, but we hope that by showing this videotape in full, it will help keep this young girl safe. Our thoughts and prayers from all of us here at TG are with Agle and her family. We apologize in advance for the nature of this footage.
I am Agle. I'm fine, but I'm scared. I have to read this message to you. Please listen to it. Please. I don't want to die. You must follow my instructions. There's a story that must be told, and truths that need to be revealed. I will choose someone. An officer. She must follow my instructions. She will be my voice, my eyes, my soul. The person who will allow the sirens to be heard once more.
That was shocking to view. Now we will head over live and direct to our correspondent.
We still have no significant updates on this case. The police are yet to release an official statement, though some speculation has emerged about the 21-year-old Moldovan woman who was rescued during this morning's raid. It is believed that this young woman is a victim of sex trafficking. The investigation into the whereabouts of the missing girl, Agley, is progressing with increasing...
Was I good?
For now,
Yes,
we still
I was
believe
good, right?
and Cactus Hand.
When will I get to meet her?
When Sirens Fall Silent is a dark, first-person psychological thriller coming from the Italian studio LKA. This team is famous for Martha is Dead, and they are doubling down on that signature style of photorealism mixed with pure nightmare fuel. The game takes you to the suburbs of Rome in the early 1990s. You play as Mila, a police officer struggling with her own past trauma who is thrust into a brutal investigation involving a series of kidnappings and murders. The gameplay is slow, methodical, and tense, focusing entirely on investigation rather than combat. You explore crime scenes that look terrifyingly real, examining corpses for wounds, and searching cluttered rooms for evidence. A major part of the game is the dialogue system. You don't just choose answers, you have to analyze a suspect's body language and unspoken cues to catch them lying. It deals with real-world evils like human trafficking, and as Mila gets closer to the truth, her own sanity starts to fracture, blurring the line between the case and her memories. When Sirens Fall Silent does not have a release date yet, but it will launch on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC.
The year 2002, and 3 friends decided not to leave school as losers.
Good morning, everybody. This young man right here is our new student, Sam.
There's Hale Baines, the guy who thinks college is for chumps.
Ah, you're the new guy, huh? What's up?
Axel Philly, the wannabe rock star.
I got an F in English.
And you, Sam Tatum, the new kid.
So we can have the party, but my mom cannot find out. If she does, she'll go ballistic.
They made a plan to rock the last few months at school and leave their marks as legends.
They want to indoctrinate me even more into a boring fucking life and work 9 to 5 like some sort of mindless zombie.
Fuck thinking about college, dude. We need to stick to our plan to rock the school.
But there's always something or someone getting in their way. Overbearing parents,
If you don't get into college, I'll throw you out of my damn house.
perverted teachers,
You messed with the wrong one.
nosy neighbors,
There are aliens in the forest and the countryside.
not to mention Seth, the most popular guy at school whose life mission is to make yours miserable at best.
So you think you can move to my town, come to my school, embarrass me in front of my friends and ruin my party?
Sid, you have to go now. My dad's gonna kill you. I'm serious.
But that doesn't hold these guys back from trying.
Whose panties are those?
Play as Sam Tatum, who saves the day in this rule-breaking coming-of-age adventure. Explore a fully decked-out campus and quirky small town in this open world inspired by the early 2000s teen movies.
Do you really think you're the first students to try to get into my pants this way?
Her dad brought lipstick home from his trip to Mexico, and now they all look prettier than ever.
We drink as much as we could, go streaking to the girl we liked, and then tell her how much we loved her.
Return to the early 2000s one last time.
Agefield High Rock the School is an upcoming single-player open-world game from Refugium Games. You play as Sam Tatum, an 18-year-old who moves to Agefield with only a few months left before graduation. The story takes place in 2002, right in a small town where everyone knows everyone. Your goal is simple: survive school life, make a name for yourself, and deal with all the drama that comes with your final semester. Friends, rivals, parties, and small-town secrets shape how your story plays out. The gameplay gives you freedom from day one. You can go to class, skip it, ride around on your bike, pull small pranks, help students, or just explore the school and town at your own pace. Missions mix light stealth, fights, chores, and early 2000s teen comedy moments. There are side activities, mini-games, and a reputation system that changes how people treat you. You can also customize Sam with new clothes, hairstyles, and gear as you move up the social ladder. Agefield High Rock the School is set to release in 2026 on PC.
Tindleston, asshole of the world. Everyone's either paying, collecting, or buried in between. My past mistakes are catching up. In this city, desperation's the currency. You can't outrun debt. You can't freeze interest. You can curl up and die in the street. Or you can fight the fuck back.
Samson: A Tindleston Story is a gritty, open-world noir action game coming from a brand new studio called Liquid Swords. This team is led by the original creator of Just Cause, but don't expect a goofy sandbox here. This game is brutal, grounded, and stressful in the best way possible. You play as Samson McCrae, a man who returns to the industrial rot of Tindleston with a massive debt hanging over his head. The unique hook here is that the entire game is built around that debt. It grows every single day with interest. The game operates on a strict timeline where time is money isn't just a saying, it's the core mechanic. Every mission you take and every fight you get into burns precious action points. If you waste time, the interest spikes and your enemies, who are currently threatening your sister, get more aggressive. Combat is visceral and physical. It focuses on heavy street brawling and using your car as a blunt weapon rather than just shooting everyone. There are no do-overs here. If you mess up a job or cause too much chaos, the city and the police push back harder, and you have to live with those consequences forever. Samson: A Tindleston Story is targeting a release in early 2026 on PC. Hello Sunshine is a unique survival mystery RPG coming from the studio Red Thread Games. This title takes the standard survival formula and flips it on its head. Instead of building a static base, your base is constantly moving. You play as the final employee of a ruined megacorporation in a world that has been scorched into a desert. The gameplay loop is built entirely around the sun. Direct sunlight is fatal due to radiation and heat. To survive, you have to walk in the literal shadow of a massive, wandering robot. It acts as your mobile shield. You have to keep pace with this giant machine during the day, scavenging supplies from the shade. At night, the desert freezes, so you have to huddle next to the robot for warmth, repair it, and craft upgrades. There is also a dark satirical layer to the story. Since you are technically still an employee, you complete menial tasks to level up your corporate rank to unlock perks from vending machines, all while the world is ending. It's a mix of Fallout and the Iron Giant with a distinct focus on moving forward. Hello Sunshine is targeting a release in 2026 on PC.
Ray ventured into OG's territory alone. You sure you thought this through?
Thinking is your job. Doing is mine.
That spark didn't come easy, Ray.
Yeah, a few bumps along the way. But I got it.
You You really fixing to gamble with it?
1 for 5, it's worth a shot.
Are you worried something might go wrong?
Wrong? I'm counting on it.
It's mine now. Finish him.
Give it back!
Walked right in himself, huh?
It's all yours now, boss.
Good work. Now with this, even the Machine Legion doesn't stand a chance against me.
What?
Huh?
On the papa!
Right on time! Miss me?
Zoopunk is a high-octane 3D action RPG coming from the studio Pathea Games. The story serves as a prequel, dropping you into the first Torch War. It is a gritty, diesel-punk nightmare where a society of anthropomorphic animals is being hunted down by an army of self-aware machines that believe they can replicate the soul. The gameplay loop focuses on aggressive, stylish combat that feels like a mix of Devil May Cry and a martial arts movie. You aren't stuck with just one hero. You control a squad of resistance fighters, each with a unique role. You have Rayton, the rabbit veteran who uses precision swordplay, Brayton, a hulking rhino who acts as a tank to crush shields, and Trixie, a chipmunk who relies on speed and acrobatics. You have to master switching between them mid-fight to chain massive combos. It is visually stunning, running on Unreal Engine 5, with a dark industrial aesthetic that makes every hit feel heavy and impactful. Zoopunk is targeting a release in 2027 on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC.
Attention all drivers. This is your 1 minute warning. 1 minute to showtime. Those who are about to die, we salute you.
Carmageddon Rogue Shift is a brutal roguelite vehicular combat game coming from the studio 34 Big Things. This title takes the infamous franchise and injects it with a modern structure. Set in a ruined 2050, the world is overrun by the Wasted, zombie hordes that flood the streets at night. Your goal is simple but desperate. Win the Carmageddon tournament to earn a ticket to a spaceport and escape the dying planet. The gameplay loop is a massive departure from the old arcade style. It is now a run-based roguelite. You pick one of 15 vehicles, strap on machine guns and rocket launchers, and fight through branching districts. The driving feels faster and tighter, closer to high-speed racing than the heavy physics of the original, but the violence is still the core. You smash rivals, mow down zombies for time, and collect beat coins to upgrade your ride. If you crash and burn, that driver is dead forever. You have to restart with a fresh character, keeping only your permanent unlocks to try again. It blends the stress of survival with the pure chaos of a demolition derby. Carmageddon Rogue Shift is targeting a release in early 2026 on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, Switch 2, and PC. The Mound, Omen of Cthulhu. If you're tired of the same old zombie shooters, this one is mixing things up in a big way. Developed by Ace Team, this is a co-op survival horror game where you play as a squad of 16th century conquistadors exploring a cursed jungle. Think Left 4 Dead, but instead of automatic weapons, you're manually loading powder into a heavy arquebus while eldritch horrors try to eat your face. The premise is wild. You're hunting for a legendary city of gold, but the deeper you go, the more the game messes with your head. That is the killer feature here, the madness system. The developers have built a mechanic where players actually hallucinate. You might see a horde of monsters that aren't there, or worse, the game might make your teammate look like a monster. It forces you to communicate constantly because you can't trust your own eyes. You have to ask, hey, is that a demon or is that you? Before you pull the trigger. The combat is heavy and deliberate. You have to manage your resources, and even the weather plays a part. If it rains, your gunpowder might get wet, leaving you defenseless. It's stressful, tactical, and looks incredibly unique. The Mound, Omen of Cthulhu, is hitting PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X and S in 2026.
武士道。それは己の均衡を保つこと。勇敢、礼儀、名誉、忠義、慈悲、そして正義。私を打ち砕こうとした意志は決意の刃を研ぎ澄ませたに過ぎない。因縁の大事が叶う時、この空が赤く染まろう。
Sol Shogunate is a stylish, third-person action RPG coming from the studio Chaos Manufacturing. This is being pitched as a samurai space opera, blending feudal Japanese traditions with high-tech sci-fi. You play as Yuzuki, a genetically modified ronin on a path of pure revenge. After a rival clan massacres your family, you become an outlaw hunting them down across the moon. But this isn't a barren wasteland. The moon is covered in lunar glass cities, massive megastructures with artificial gravity, neon skylines, and space elevators. The gameplay is fast, acrobatic, and heavily focused on verticality. Since you are on the moon, you use gravity assist gear and grapple cables to fly through districts and fight in low-gravity environments. You wield traditional samurai weapons that are re-engineered for the future, allowing you to infuse them with elemental energy to exploit enemy weaknesses. The standout feature here is how combat links to audio. Boss fights are designed to feel like interactive music videos. The action syncs up with a J-rock soundtrack, featuring bands like Allier, where the intensity of the music matches the chaos of your swordplay. Sol Shogunate does not have a release date yet, but it will launch on PS5 and PC.
Late night?
Just finished. You?
Car trouble.
Damn, Anton. What'd you drive through? A war zone?
Maybe.
You're always showing up when I'm closing. Oh my god, what happened to your face?
Today.
Put some ice on it. Good night, Anton.
The gap in left center. That's rolling all the way to the wall. He's around first, digging.
Blackwood is a cinematic third-person action thriller coming from the studio Atrito M7 Productions. This game is basically a love letter to the John Wick films, but with a unique twist. You have to hold down a day job. The game is set in a gritty, authentic recreation of New York City in 2012. You play as Anton Blackwood, a man living a dangerous double life. By day, you are a humble DVD store owner. You actually have to manage the shop, restock shelves, and chat with customers to maintain your cover as a normal, boring citizen. But when the sun goes down, the shutters close, and the real game begins. You descend into the underworld as a contract killer. The combat is grounded and visceral, focusing on gun-fu and environmental takedowns. You don't just shoot enemies, you use the world around you, smashing heads into counters, using car doors as weapons, and executing fluid melee finishers. The tension comes from balancing these two worlds. You have to keep your blood pressure down while selling movies, knowing that one slip-up could bring the chaos of your night job crashing into your day life. Blackwood is targeting a release in the third quarter of 2026 on PC.
The galaxy lies shattered. The Blood Ravens stand alone. We fight. We bleed. We die. For centuries, we have been sworn to defend Kronos. We have returned to find a world in ruin. Orc warlords infest the surface. Mechanicus priests pursue knowledge long forgotten. Ancient horrors awaken, claiming dominion over all. And something still stirs below. Buried deep, lost for eons, and never meant to return. We stand defiant. Kronos must not fall. And we are not alone. Is untold. Only one thing is certain. War has returned to Kronos.
Warhammer 40,000. Dawn of War 4 is the long-awaited return of the legendary RTS franchise, now being developed by King Art Games. This is a big deal because this studio made Iron Harvest, and they are promising to fix the mistakes of the last game by going back to pure, gritty strategy. The game takes you back to the war-torn planet of Kronos. You command one of 4 factions: the Orcs, the Necrons, the Space Marines, and for the first time ever, the tech-obsessed Adeptus Mechanicus. The story is written by Black Library author John French, so it's deep, dark, and lore-accurate. The gameplay loop completely ditches the MOBA-style hero mechanics of the third game. It returns to classic base building, massive unit counts, and the brutal sync-kill system where units execute each other in graphic detail. But the massive hook here is the scale of the leaders. For the first time in the series' history, you can deploy a Primarch. Lionel Johnson of the Dark Angels is fully playable, letting you unleash a literal demigod on the battlefield. Warhammer 40,000: Dawn of War 4 is targeting a release in 2026 on PC.
She's ready.
What's your code name?
Winter.
You ventured this far to find us. What's your purpose?
To prove what they said was a lie.
District 30 is now complete under Project Retrograde. The Lux system is about to begin trial runs in newly developed areas.
Mara, we gotta
We
go.
have some breaking news.
Following reports of unusual cases, officials assure us the cause has been identified. All residents, please head to local quarantine zone.
You see that?
Nice work, Hunter.
Yeah, I got it done. But I don't know, is that me or him?
Find that surface agent. She can help.
What's the target?
Sean Anderson. He's behind the recent mutation.
And they sent you in alone?
That's not relevant to you. Follow me and don't die.
Project Retrograde: The Becoming is a narrative-driven action survival game coming from the studio Inversity Gameworks. This title feels like a fever dream that blends the survival horror of Resident Evil with the high-octane gun-fu of John Wick. Set in a twisted version of 1995, humanity has retreated into massive underground cities that have been shattered by an ancient parasite known as Luca. You play as a bounty hunter who is actually infected by this parasite. But instead of turning into a monster, you have formed a symbiosis with it. The gameplay loop focuses on what they call monastic combat. Since you are connected to the parasite hive mind, you can absorb the combat memories of dead hosts. This allows you to literally download skills, like the martial arts of a kung fu master or the tactical precision of a Spec Ops soldier, and switch between them mid-fight. You also have to manage the LUX system, a retro-tech grid that controls the underground weather. You can trigger artificial storms to mask your noise or blind enemies, adding a tactical layer to the visceral horror. Project Retrograde: The Becoming does not have a release date yet, but it will launch on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC.
Meanwhile, beneath the blue team's base.
All right, team, huddle up. Next game's starting, so here's the plan.
Peter, you're on flag duty. Remember, you can hide it anywhere, so get creative. Jake?
Got him! Sorry, CG. Parker, you're on intel.
Get that bird in the sky and scope radar towers A and B. We'll lock them down and get scanning for the red team flag. Then we unleash our secret weapon.
The red team's listening.
And how do you know that?
Suit. Do your thing and sneak past enemy lines to find that red flag. Kicking butt along the way.
Easy. So see you.
Camilla.
Oh,
Now once we have the flag, use that teleport gun of yours to shoot the flag carrier towards home base. Cause you know they'll be riding out bumper.
Wait, what?
Stick to this brilliantly devised plan. We got this in the bag. Let's boogie. Wait, why do you still have that? You only got 4 seconds left.
Bingo! All right, team. New plan.
Just wing it!
Last Flag is a competitive 5 versus 5 third-person shooter coming from the studio Night Street Games. This game takes the classic Capture the Flag mode and turns it into a full hero shooter set inside a funk-blasted 1970s-style televised game show. The gameplay loop is unique because it starts with a hide-and-seek phase. You have 60 seconds to physically take your team's flag and hide it anywhere on your half of the map, in a bush, behind a waterfall, or atop a ruin. Once the round starts, it's a race to find the enemy's flag while protecting your own. You don't just run blindly, you have to capture radar towers that slowly reveal where the flag isn't, helping you narrow down the search. The combat is built around distinct contestants with wild abilities like Masako, a heavy metal archer, or Sujin, a stealth thief who can teleport. The tension peaks when you finally grab the flag because you don't win instantly, you have to haul it back to base and defend it for a solid 60 seconds against a desperate enemy push. Last Flag is targeting a release in 2026 on PC.
Tore open, and the worthy were claimed. We were left behind. In our desperation, we called to you, warrior, to stand against the darkness. Equipped with our best, you will forge a path through Paris, long decayed. Together, we must reach the sunless gate. When we die, we will leave this place. But you return again and again. What are you, really? And why have you come? Is this our salvation?
Armatus is a third-person roguelite shooter coming from the studio Counterplay Games. This title drops you into a twisted, post-apocalyptic version of Paris. The city has been swallowed by hell, and you play as the Warrior, an immortal killing machine summoned by the last surviving humans to find the Sunless Gate, a legendary doorway to heaven. The gameplay loop is built on pure speed and aggression. It mixes modern firepower with ancient magic. You aren't just taking cover, you are sprinting through the ruins of the Eiffel Tower wielding shotguns and SMGs in one hand while blasting enemies with celestial energy beams from the other. Since it is a roguelite, death is part of the process. The combat is described as hyperkinetic, meaning you have to keep moving to survive. You constantly unlock new weapons and passive buffs to create broken builds, like a rifle that slows time or grenades that chain lightning, allowing you to shred through hordes of demons faster with every run. Armatus is targeting a release in 2026 on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, PC, and the Nintendo Switch 2. Halloween is the official asymmetrical survival horror game coming from the studio IllFonic. This is the big one fans have been waiting for, developed in Unreal Engine 5 with direct input from the legendary John Carpenter to ensure it feels exactly like the 1978 movie. The game is unique because it splits into two distinct modes. First, you have the Shape single-player story. For the first time ever, you play entirely as Michael Myers. You experience the narrative of the night he came home through his eyes, stalking victims and executing them to satisfy his obsession. Then, there is the massive 1 vs 4 multiplayer. One player controls Michael using supernatural abilities like shape jump to vanish and reappear instantly behind victims. The other 4 play as Heroes of Haddonfield. The twist here is that you aren't just running away, you have to actively lead. You can convince NPC townsfolk to follow you, command them to patrol areas, or call the police to increase the neighborhood security. It is a sandbox of fear where you can either be the ultimate slasher or the leader who rallies the town to fight back. Halloween is releasing on September 8th, 2026 on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC.
You, the memory they could not erase. You tread long forgotten paths. Echoes remain, the linger of faded voices. Walls remember what you lost and what lies ahead.
MIO Memories in Orbit is a mesmerizing 2D Metroidvania coming from the studio Deux Dixiems. This game is visually stunning, featuring hand-drawn art that blends the decaying sci-fi of Nier Automata with the fluid elegance of Hollow Knight. You play as MIO, an agile android waking up inside the Vessel, a gigantic drifting spaceship that has gone silent. The ship is no longer just metal. It has become an overgrown ecosystem where rogue machines and wild vegetation have fused together. The gameplay loop is built entirely around flow. It isn't just about jumping, it's about momentum. You use a unique grappling hook and spider-like wall-clinging abilities to swing through complex environments without ever touching the ground. Combat is equally fast, letting you use gadgets to create decoys or launch projectiles while staying airborne. It's a game where movement is your best weapon, challenging you to master the rhythm of the ship to save it from total shutdown. MIO. Memories in Orbit releases on January 20th, 2026 on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, PC, Nintendo Switch, and the Switch 2. Plague Doctor Life in Pestilence is a grim medieval medical simulation coming from the studio Pathea Games. This isn't just a management game, it is a hands-on fight against a rotting world where your skills determine if a village survives or dies. You play as a doctor appointed to a remote village, starting as a suspected quack and trying to earn trust. The gameplay is split between exploration and operation. You have to venture out into dangerous forests and caves to hunt for specific herbs and minerals. Then, you bring them back to your lab to brew complex serums. The core intensity comes from the surgery mechanics. You have to manually examine patients, diagnose symptoms, and perform graphic procedures like incisions and sutures. The stakes are massive because the environment itself is tied to your success rate. If you let too many people die, the village physically decays, houses crumble, fires break out, and the weather turns violent. You can tackle this nightmare solo or with up to 3 friends in co-op. Plague Doctor Life in Pestilence is coming soon to PC.
Where the hell did that goblin go?
Search the area!
I'm gonna get you, goblin!
Where are you? I don't care how, just bring it to me!
Styx Blades of Greed is the long-awaited return of the pure stealth franchise from Cyanide Studio. The foul-mouthed goblin is back, but this time the stakes are much higher. Instead of just sneaking around castles, you are leading a crew of thieves aboard a massive zeppelin that acts as your mobile base. Your goal is to traverse a crumbling empire to steal quartz, the magical source of power in this universe. The gameplay doubles down on verticality. The maps are described as towering, meaning you aren't just hiding in corners, you are scaling massive structures using new tools like a grappling hook and a glider. Styx has also evolved his magic. You still use your signature cloning ability to distract guards, but you now have access to time shift and mind control powers to manipulate the battlefield without ever being seen. It remains a hardcore experience. Styx is physically weak, so direct combat is a death sentence. You have to rely on traps, environmental sabotage, and pure cunning to ghost your way through levels that are designed as massive, open-ended puzzles. Styx Blades of Greed is releasing on February 19th, 2026 on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC.
An old soldier's pendant.
The Relic First Guardian is a dark fantasy action RPG coming from the Korean studio Project Cloud Games. This game is clearly targeting fans of Dark Souls and The Witcher, but it has a unique flavor because the world of Arsiltis is heavily inspired by Korean folklore. You play as the last guardian tasked with finding the pieces of a shattered relic to close a massive void that is swallowing the land. The major hook here is how it handles progression. They have completely removed the traditional leveling system. You don't grind for XP to get stronger. Instead, your strength comes entirely from your gear. You have to hunt for specific runes, craft items, and master 5 distinct weapon classes. This changes the gameplay loop because you can't just overlevel to beat a boss. You have to physically prepare for the fight by building the right loadout. The combat itself is fast and flashy, running on Unreal Engine 5 with over 70 unique bosses that range from tragic human figures to massive mythical beasts. The Relic First Guardian is targeting a release in early 2026 on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. Thief Simulator 3 is the latest installment in the open-world stealth simulation series coming from developer Noble Muffins. If you played the previous games, you know the drill, but this time they have finally added the one feature everyone has been begging for: co-op. For the first time, you aren't just a lone wolf. You can team up with a friend to form a duo of thieves. This completely changes the gameplay loop because you can now split roles. One player can be the distraction, blasting music outside a window or sabotaging a car alarm to draw the residents out, while the other player slips in through the back to sweep the house clean. The scope is also much bigger. It features 4 massive new sandbox maps, ranging from bustling city streets to high-security luxury golf clubs. They have also overhauled the progression system with a new clothing mechanic. You don't just upgrade tools, you have to dress the part. Wearing a suit might let you blend into a rich neighborhood, while black tactical gear helps you stay hidden at night. It's all about planning the perfect heist and then improvising when your partner inevitably messes it up. Thief Simulator 3 is targeting a release in 2026 on PC.